Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for November 19th, 2016. We're your hosts, Peacemaker2448 and Rapid Epsilon.
Hi.
We're being a bit too consistent on these Saturday TGSs.
I know it.
I mean, it's not like it really affects releases that much, and that's the only thing that, would be affected, considering I do up the articles before Friday sometimes. Sometimes it's the day of. Just depends.
I just realized I know why the freaking... I know why I'm dropping frames.
What is it Steam?
Nope.
Aw.
Nope. I forgot. I can't do streams in 1080p. I gotta go with 720. That's what the output resolution is 1080.
I don't think TGS needs to be in 1080p. I don't think anyone really needs to see articles in 1080p.
But they might. Because, I mean, no. And guess what? That's the one thing I cannot change while it's going.
Well.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Guessing we're going to be down for 5 seconds while you switch over?
Yep.
Alright. Be
right
back in 5 seconds, folks.
Yay, stable bitrate.
Hi, everyone. We're back. Alright. So, now we're not dropping frames every 12 seconds, I assume.
Yeah, that kind of stopped completely now.
So, Tommy, what have you been playing? Considering everyone knows what I've been playing at least yesterday and today.
Not really much of anything. Like, I've picked up a few things here and there, but not really long enough to matter.
Oh.
I need to try to play some more things, but yeah.
Life gets in the way of that.
Yep.
Well, Siege was fun to play. Outside of all the server issues and stuff.
Yeah.
That was an obnoxious amount of server issues, and I have to assume it's just because it was on a free weekend that we were playing it.
I would have to think that.
But to be honest, the one thing I've been playing, it's the one thing I've played since Friday, and by Friday I mean yesterday, Pokemon Sun. Picked it up at the Best Buy. Lady behind the counter apparently was looking for my copy of Pokemon Sun that I pre-ordered, and completely ignoring the 8 copies along with 4 copies of Pokemon Moon on a shelf above all of these shelves with letters on them. Don't know what the fuck she was looking for, but she eventually picked up 1 copy of each and was like, which one? And I'm like, Sun? And I was thinking, doesn't it say on the receipt that I showed you that is proof of my pre-order that it's Pokemon Sun that I pre-ordered, not Moon? But whatevs. I guess if I wanted to make a last-minute decision, I could have picked Moon. It's not like it really would have mattered, considering the version-exclusive Pokemon in terms of the new stuff is only 5 per game?
Really?
Yes. In terms of the new stuff, mind you. Yeah, there's more version-exclusive stuff than that, but I'm only counting, like, the Gen 7 stuff. Plus the Alolan forms.
Did you really have to think what gen this was?
A little bit. Not gonna lie. Just a little bit.
Wow.
Super scrubby right there. But yeah, in terms of the version exclusive, the Vulpix Ninetale loan forms are exclusive to the Sun. Pissimian's exclusive. Turtonator is exclusive. Soglio's exclusive. And Buzzwole and Kartana, 2 of the Ultra Beast, are exclusive. That's it. That is all the version exclusives in terms of new stuff for Sun. Other than that, it's let's see, the Corandos line, the Tortuga line, the Cottony line, the Rufflet line, and that's it. That's about 2 Pokemon a piece of what I named. So there are not that many version exclusive Pokemon.
I swear. Why?
Frame drops.
Oh, it's trying hard.
Aww. I am sad that the Sandshrew Sandslash line is exclusive to Moon, but I got trade fodder to try to pick up one of those. Also, as far as I've seen, no trade evolution, so I ain't got to worry about that shit. Which is fantastic. But yeah, my experience with Pokemon Sun so far. Now, I'm going to say this up front. I am playing this on an older 3DS model. I am not playing it on the new 3DS. I'm playing it on the regular old schmo 3DS. So I have the one major difference between games, or between what your experience difference. I have performance issues. Hard performance issues. Now, these are only really situational, to be honest. They're only going to happen when there's more than 2 Pokemon battling. So if I'm in an attack battle, or a wild Pokemon decides to call for help and get a partner, or I'm in a battle royale with 4 Pokemon, frames take a dump. But otherwise, I have no frame rate issues. At least, not that I can notice. Which is good, to be honest. Otherwise, it's really good so far. The no gyms is noticeable, but it feels like you just go from trial or just from area to area. You just get to do what you want to do in an area. You get to explore and you just move on. There's no, hey, here's the gym. No, you just go along your route and the trials are along your route. And it doesn't feel like you just run into a blockade because it's there just to block your path. No, you normally go away from blockades. You only go to blockades if you actually decide to explore an area. Which, there's some hard blockades, to be honest. But yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the new Pokemon. I've got all the Pokemon I can get new-wise so far. Still having to evolve them all. I got a Poplio, so I'm enjoying my male water seal, even though the design is very obviously meant to be female. Didn't feel like RNGing that shit out. If I want a female Poplio, I'm going to breed that shit. Because fuck. As far as I knew, when the gender was decided, it was before this cutscene at a bridge. That's when the gender got decided. I believe I saw that on Reddit. And seeing that was a pretty long cutscene, and I'd have to restart every time. Well, there's a cutscene there. Then you go choose your Pokemon. Then another cutscene plays, and then you get to find out the gender. Fuck that noise. I am not restarting every goddamn time just to get a female Poplio. I will breed that shit, and it will be faster. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying Sun, to be honest. It's a nice, easy pace. Doesn't feel like I've had to hit many stone walls. The only stone wall I hit was one Smeargle that was strong as fuck. Which, if you want to know what Smeargle it is, go look at Pro Jared's blind Nuzlocke of Pokemon Moon. He did a stream of it yesterday. The run ended at the Smeargle. He didn't have a death until that Smeargle, and that Smeargle killed his entire team. It's because that Smeargle is bullshit. That Smeargle is stupidly strong. And it's just using tackle, mind you. Just tackle. And it just rips you apart. I died to it, so I don't feel too bad for Jared. Like that, yeah, that was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen when I was watching the stream. I'm like, oh fuck, he's gonna run that Smurgle. And just seeing that Smurgle slowly kill his team, I'm just like, yeah, it's sad that I saw this one coming. And it's not your fault, Jared. It's not your fault. And Tom Fox is doing a blind co-op Nuzlocke. Not a solo lock, mind you, just a co-op Nuzlocke where two people are playing at the same time. So.
Well then.
Mm-hmm. And like 5 people were streaming it yesterday when I got back from picking up the game. 5 different people I was following were streaming it. Bear in mind, I follow a crap ton of different people who do a variety of games. Having the same game across 5 people is fairly rare. Hell, that stays consistent. I still think I have had like 2 or 3 people today stream Pokemon Sun or Moon. I'll look right now and see how many people are streaming it that I'm following. Let's see. It's 1, 2, 3 so far. I guarantee if I look at the Twitch directory, Sun and Moon are probably going to be like, yep, Sun and Moon's the 6th highest on Twitch right now.
Well then,
it is super close to overtaking Overwatch. Super close. I guarantee you, it was like top 3 yesterday, at least. Yeah, I mean, like outside of the performance issues, I've had fun with it. The performance issues aren't horrendous. And the fact that it only exists on the older 3DS models is a good thing. Like there is no trace of it in the new 3DS models. So I have to think that this new Pokemon game is literally pushing the hardware to its limits on the old hardware. So yeah. Yeah, that has been it. I can't wait to play more of it, and I can't wait till January to transfer everything over through Pokemon Bank, which will be fun. Just dump it all in there and be like, all right, now let's get the trade and then getting them version exclusives and shit. All right. Guess we could talk about all the fun news from the past couple of weeks.
Oh boy.
Well, we got a good news, to be honest. But unfortunately, there's no Aloha forecast. Unfortunately.
Well,
only because Pokemon Sun and Moon are out, so
yeah.
It is that is ridiculous that I was able to keep that trend up for 2-3 months.
All the way to launch?
Yeah, pretty much. Consistent news all around. And what was weird is if we had a TGS last week, we would still probably be able to do an Aloha forecast because of the fucking full game leak that happened. People got early copies of the game and were leaking everything. Like, we knew all of the Z moves. We knew all of the story. We knew everything last week. I didn't peek that much, but damn. But anyway, news this week. First up, we're going to be talking about a video game movie. That probably will never happen. The Last of Us is apparently getting a movie, which I go, how is this getting a movie before Uncharted?
Because Tomb Raider.
But still, Tomb Raider's got 2 movies. 2! And that was before the reboot. It's got 2 movies.
All the more reason why Uncharted don't need one.
But those movies weren't that good. Plus, the voice actor, most of the voice acting cast they have could be casted as the characters. Literally, they could be casted as the characters they voice. But anyway, apparently, the Last of Us movie is in developmental hell, essentially. Sam Raimi opened up about the problems. Infighting between creative director writer Neil Druckmann. I don't want to say Druckmann because it's not Druckmann. I think it's Druckmann. And Sony about film's direction. Followed up by saying that he is still attached to the project. And that's about the short and long of it from the looks of it. So, yeah. Would you actually go see a Last of Us movie if it came out?
Probably not.
Better question would be, are you going to go see Assassin's Creed next month?
Doubt it.
To be honest, I'm not that excited either. It doesn't help that I'm super burned on Assassin's Creed as a franchise. So a movie does not sound that appealing to me. Especially a movie that doesn't look that good. I mean, I know it's got Benedict Cumberbatch in it, but if I want to watch a good Benedict Cumberbatch movie right now, I'll go see Doctor Strange again. That or go finally watch Sherlock, because apparently that's really good. But yeah, that sucks to hear, but it's not the first video game movie we've heard about and talked about on the show that's probably never going to exist. It's like 12th at this point. I want to say 12th.
You're probably right.
All right. Well, it's that time of the year again. It's time to talk about what got nominated for the Game Awards. Are we all excited?
No.
All right. We're just going to blow through this list and just give our quick thoughts on these. So for Game Awards 2016, for Game of the Year, we've got Doom, Inside, Overwatch, Titanfall 2, and Uncharted 4 Thief's End. Okay.
Out of all of those, I think so far the two that have actually delivered 100% have been Doom and Titanfall 2.
Uncharted 4 looks pretty good.
Yeah, and fell off the radar really quickly.
True. Overwatch has still got a very massive community behind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of nice to see that a indie game is shown up on here.
Even though it probably has no chance.
Probably not. Best studio, even though it's listed as best game direction, same. Or yeah. Oh, okay, best game direction. We got Blizzard, DICE, id, Naughty Dog, and Respawn. DICE listed here for Battlefield 1, but I think that's one of the only few mentions of Battlefield 1 to begin with. Poor Battlefield 1. Really getting shafted here. That pretty much is going to go hand in hand with the Game of the Year award, like every other Game of the Awards, I believe. Best narrative, we've got Firewatch, Inside, Mafia 3, Oxenfree, and Uncharted 4. 2 indie games. Wait, no, 3 indie games. My bad. 3 indie games here. I'm not entirely sure I see why Mafia 3 is here. Getting the gist of it from a Gaming Sins YouTube, I don't think Mafia 3 was that good. Uncharted 4 was fine. Firewatch is questionable, from what I've heard. Very questionable. Yeah, Oxenfree is fairly good from from the hour or so I've watched of it from one stream like 5 months ago. Any opinion on any of these?
No.
All right. Best art direction. We got Abzu, Firewatch, Inside, Overwatch, Uncharted 4. Lots of Uncharted 4 love I'm seeing. I'm sensing a pattern. I got no opinion, to be honest. I think if you're gonna go art direction, I would honestly expect a lot more of your creative artsy games to be on that list. None of these are artsy games besides Abzu and Inside, I believe. Firewatch is not artsy. Not really. Music sound design. Battlefield 1, Doom, Inside, Res Infinite, Thumper. What? There's a lot of indie games here. It's nice that the Game Awards are at least recognizing a lot more indie titles. Yeah. Best performance, we've got Alex Henderson for Mafia 3, Kissy Jones for Firewatch, Emily Rose for Uncharted 4, Nolan North for Uncharted 4, Rick Summer for Firewatch, and Troy Baker for Uncharted 4. Can we not name another game that people are doing voice acting in besides 3/5 of the main cast of Uncharted 4? Jesus. I may like Uncharted, but I don't think it needs this many nominations in Best Performance. Pick one. Games for Impact. We've got 1979 Revolution, Blockhood, Orwell, Sea Hero Quest, and That Dragon Cancer. Pretty much the indie game title, or I wouldn't say the indie game category because that's the next one down, but another indie game category, I would say. Speaking of indie games, we've got Firewatch, Hyper Light Drifter, Inside, Stardew Valley, and The Witness. Is it bad that I think Stardew Valley is the best one out of there? Mostly because it's the one I've seen the most of?
If I'm remembering Inside, I would have to think that one would be up there too.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering it right.
I know I've heard of Hyper Light Drifter, but I cannot think of it at this moment.
I'm wanting to say I've seen of it too, but I wasn't as impressed with it, kind of deal.
I think I know the Okay, never mind. I thought I knew The Witness, but no, different game. Once more, they do this shit again. This annoys me. Best mobile/handheld game: Clash Royale, Fire Emblem Fates, Monster Hunter Generations, Pokemon Go, Severed. Okay, why are we combining mobile and handheld?
Hey, you know what might wind up in that category next year?
Super Mario Run.
Breath of the Wild.
Very true.
I mean, it's possible.
They could very well classify it as a handheld title. But yeah, I don't like mobile and handheld being thrown together into one category. Mobile and handheld are two very different platforms. Two very different platforms. They are. Like Pokemon Go is nothing like a Pokemon game that would be coming out on handheld, like, you know, Pokemon Sun. And to have them go up against each other is unfair to both because they are completely different games developed for completely different platforms. So yeah, I just yeah. Best VR game, we have the Arkham VR game, Valkyrie, Job Simulator, Res Infinite, Thumper. I would think Arkham VR or Valkyrie because they're the most games on VR. But that's a problem with VR right now, is there's not a whole lot of noteworthy games. Like Job Simulator is a very good fuck around game, but that's about it. Arkham VR's at least got a story, and E-Valkyrie is a game that is with spaceships and stuff, I assume. But other than that, I can't speak to anything from VR. All I say is go watch Giant Bomb's complete coverage of VR stuff. They do a lot of coverage of it. Best action game: Battlefield 1, Doom, Gears 4, Overwatch, Titanfall 2. Hey, Gears got a mention. There was a Gears game that came out this year, guys.
There was?
Yep.
Really? Because, like, no one knows. That or no one cares. I'm banking more on the care part.
Yeah, I have seen the story of Gears 4, and I'm just like, well, good to see we decided to kill the Locust only to bring him back because fuck you.
Seriously.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, they brought the Locust back because organic evolution bullshit. Also, this game has storms just like the Twister movie. They are somehow sentient and come after your ass. Also, the best part of that game was Old Man Marcus Phoenix. Old Man Marcus Phoenix is the best part of that game because he's like literally for 30 minutes, you just get to hear him bitch out the enemies for blowing up his house and blowing up his tomatoes. Literally, he's like, my tomatoes, you sons of bitches. And I'm like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want. Is Old Man Marcus Phoenix bitching about people blowing up his tomatoes and shit. It's beautiful. Best action adventure game: Dishonored 2, Hitman, Hyper Light Drifter, Ratchet and Clank, Uncharted 4. It's sad to say that game is better than the movie, but that's a conversation of itself, to be honest. I think the movie is like the clip notes of that game, to be honest.
Probably.
And Hitman's apparently pretty good. I watched a review from Super Money Hop, and he was giving it quite the praise. Let's see. Best RPG: Dark Souls 3, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Blood and Wine, World of Warcraft, Xenoblade Chronicles X. All right. Okay. What the fuck's with this category? All right. So we have 3 full games, an MMO expansion, and a DLC expansion. 2 of these shouldn't be here. Or at the very least should be judged in other categories. Like, what the fuck? Like, literally, what the fuck? Why are we throwing in an MMO expansion and a DLC and expansion into this best of RPG category? That seems to be a bit shafting the participants in this category. Or is that just me?
No, you're right.
Best fighting game does it again because we have Killer Instinct Season 3, which is really just DLC. King of Fighters 14, mind you. Pokken Tournament in Street Fighter 5. One of these is DLC. Why is it in the full game? What the fuck? All right. Best strategy game: Civ 6, Fates, Banner Saga 2, Total War Warhammer, and XCOM 2. Hey, XCOM 2 gets mentioned finally. Damn. That's a really good game. Why the hell isn't this in some of these other categories? Let's see. Best family game: Dragon Quest Builders, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, Pokemon Go, Ratchet Clank, and Skylanders Imaginators. This seems like a stupid category. Like, why? Like, this just seems dumb. Best sports / racing game, again, combining categories because fuck you. FIFA 17, Forza Horizon 3, MLB The Show 16, NBA 2K 17, Pro Evolution Soccer 2017. Okay, if it's sports racing, why the fuck is there only one racing game on here? Did nothing else sports-wise stand out this year that you had to throw in Forza Horizon 3? Is there no other racing games this year? I have to think there are other racing games this year.
Maybe it was a combination of both.
Still a stupid combining of categories. Best multiplayer. We got Battlefield 1, Gears 4, Overcooked, Overwatch, Titanfall 2, and Rainbow Six Siege. All right. I have no idea what Overcooked is. I know what everything else here is, but I know what Overcooked is. And what's sad is most of these are first-person shooters.
Yep.
Okay, if we're going to do best multiplayer, can we at least accept the fact that there are other games with multiplayers that aren't shooters? Because I'm willing to bet that Overcooked is also a shooter.
But, I mean, what are you talking about? I thought all of the good multiplayers are first-person shooters.
Civ 6 has multiplayer.
I said all of the good multiplayers.
Okay, it's not a shooter. It's some weird little isometric game.
Well, then it won't get it.
Yeah. Alright, most anticipated game: God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Mass Effect Andromeda, Red Dead Redemption 2, Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Okay, one of these fucking games only has a goddamn teaser trailer attached to it. Tells you fuck in all of it. Why the fuck is it here? We literally only have a teaser trailer for Red Dead Redemption 2. Why the fuck is it one of the most anticipated games of next year?
Okay. But to this, I'm also going to point out about the only game that we know any kind of mass of knowledge on is Breath of the Wild out of that list.
We have information on Andromeda that came out the week of his announcements. Because Game Informer's cover story for December is Andromeda. And they've been releasing a ton of information.
Yeah, now.
Also, Horizon Zero Dawn has had two showcase demos at E3. So it's pretty well known at this point. Data War has one demo to its name.
That we really didn't get to see much outside of normal God of War stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, personally speaking, where the fuck is Persona 5 when it comes out next year? Like, what about Persona 5?
Personally speaking, I feel like since, Breath of the Wild's release is kind of in the air at the moment, that might not be the best option to have in the list. Just saying.
Yeah. What about Kingdom Hearts 2.8? Like, what about some other games that you're not going to list on here? I mean, I'd say 15, but the show's going to come out, and the show's going to be on, like, after 15 comes out, which 15's not on here because fuck you. Timing. Trending Gamer, Angry Joe Show, Boogie 2988, Danny O'Doer, Jacksepticeye, and Lyric. I know 3 people on this list. I know who Jacksepticeye is, I know who Lyric is, and I know Joe. I don't know who these other 2 people are. I'm guessing you know nobody here except Jacksepticeye because of Markiplier.
No, I've heard of Angry Joe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, outside of those 2, yeah, no idea.
Lyric, I know him through his Daisy stuff. So, best fan creation project A2MR, Pokemon Uranium, Brutal Doom 64, and Endril, The Shadow of Order. Oh, look, Pokemon gets on here with Uranium and not Sun and Moon because deadlines, I guess.
Well, seeing as how half of this list has gotten taken down, I'm kind of wondering if this is still a fair fight. Because, Nintendo decided they were going to swing their hammer wildly for no reason at all.
Yep. Best esports player, Baker from SKT1 for League. Koldzera from SK Gaming for Counter-Strike. Bjorn for StarCraft 2. Infiltrator for Team Razor for Street Fighter 5. And Hungrybox for Team Liquid for Smash.
Wait, are you telling me that this year they're not all from like 2 games?
Yay! And one of them's a Nintendo! Look at Nintendo being better with esports, kind of, sort of, even though they have nothing to do with this.
That's actually amazing.
Yeah.
Because normally that don't happen.
Yeah, recognizing the fighting game scene that's been around for ever.
Recognizing anything that isn't CSGO or League.
Yeah. Best esports team, SKT1 for League, Win Gaming's for Dota 2, SK Gaming for something that's not listed apparently, Rocks Tigers for League of Legends, and Cloud9, I assume, for League of Legends. I guess SK Gaming's Dota 2. Or Counter-Strike, since SK Gaming's mentioned up there, but yeah, nothing listed. I'm curious why Rocks Tigers here. Because that seems like an oddball choice. I don't think they did that well in Worlds. Let me check. I might be wrong on that. It's been a while since the Worlds ended. But I don't think Rocks Tigers did that good. Okay, yeah, they won Group A, but they didn't advance that far. Okay, no, they got the semis. All right. And lost to SKT. All right. That's probably why they got nominated then. Finally, best esports game. Counter-Strike, Dota, League, Overwatch, Street Fighter 5. Okay, Overwatch is here, but no esports player from there is mentioned in any of this. That's a bit odd.
Well, what also kind of sucks is the fact that one of these games has not had traditional updates in years.
Yeah.
It's like, look, I know the community's behind it really strong. Don't get me wrong there, but come on. How can it still be best esports game if it's outdated, technically?
But, yeah. We can be watching the Game Awards December 1st at 9 o'clock. I probably won't be watching, to be honest.
Same.
I think Kojima's supposed to get an award, which, the 2015 Game Awards are most famously known for the put down Jeff Keighley did on Konami, when Kojima was supposed to be getting an award that year, but couldn't receive it because Konami was like, nah, no, he can't. I was curious if we were recording anything that Thursday to have an excuse. Besides, I don't wanna.
Okay, well, neither one of us want us, so there's a good excuse.
Yeah, we'll probably just talk about the results that Friday, which is the day after a TGS? Or is that a Rampant Gaming? Okay, the day after is a TGS. Welp. That's one guaranteed thing we'll be talking about. Actually, that's the next TGS. Welp. Welp.
Yep.
I'll just wait and see who wins. Like, the Game Awards aren't really that big of a deal, to be honest, in my opinion. So, they're a thing that exists, and we're just going to move on. So, speaking of Super Mario Run, we not only have a trailer, but we got a release date and a price.
For iOS.
Yes. So, on December 15th, only on iOS, because fuck you for choosing the alternative. That isn't garbage. For $10, you can play Super Mario Run. That $10 is in order to unlock the full game. Players will be able to try elements of the game's 3 modes for free. But yeah, we got a trailer to see kind of what to expect, I guess. Yay. You want to cue up the trailer and see what we're in for?
I guess.
All right. Let us all prepare for the next Nintendo mobile experience. And hopefully it won't have as terrible a launch as Pokemon Go did. Because good lord, that launch was terrible.
You ready?
Yep. Starting it up here in 3, 2, 1, go. Thank you for telling us how an auto runner works.
Wow. The video player broke.
Well, there's red coins. There's a save your ass bubble system. There's a timer. There are ghost house and Bowser castles. There are Bowser boss fights that I have that we don't get to see. You get to make your own kingdom and deck it out with shit. You got a Toad rally. Where you race ghosts, essentially. Oh, stars are a coin rush, so get all the coins.
And it's using all the new Mario stuff.
Yeah. Riveting, I tell you what. Is it bad that I am more curious about the pretty much non-existent Fire Emblem mobile game we're supposed to be getting next year at some point than I am this? Because I'm like, yeah, cool, on an auto runner. Yay. That's... I'm more curious, like, what the fuck they're going to do with Fire Emblem. Is it going to be like a super basic tactics game? Or is it going to be something else entirely? Like, I want to know. I'm curious.
You know what it is?
What?
It's gonna be one of those clicker adventure games.
So, what, a Brave Exodus? A Brave Exodus / Record Keeper, which I've uninstalled both because Record Keeper was breaking and Brave Exodus wanted access to my phone calls. It might have been the other way around, but I installed both recently because they were both just not happy with me. And I was like, fuck it. I don't really care about either one of these games. Well, we got nothing else to say. How about we move on to a little historical piece and a little bit of a transition piece? You remember what the original Xbox looked like before it was released?
Not exactly, but
Well,
based off of the picture in the background there, I'm assuming.
Yep, that was the original Xbox. You know, before we got the giant black box that it was. This was what it was originally.
Before we got the box with the X on it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is the original prototype. This massive, massive fucking what in the hell, whose bright idea was this? But yeah, celebrating the Xbox's 15th anniversary, they showed off the original Xbox prototype hardware. A giant fucking X. Look, this thing is fucking huge. Could you imagine trying to set this on your TV stand right now? Like, what the fuck? This is almost as ridiculous as those Batarang-esque PlayStation 3 controllers from back in the day. Do you remember that? Back when the PlayStation 3 got it first announced?
I think.
For those who don't know, back when the PlayStation 3 got first announced, they showed off this controller. I swear to God, looked like a batarang and looked like if you would throw it, it would literally come back at you and smack you in the head. It was the most ridiculous looking controller I've ever fucking seen. Thank God they went, let's just stick with the DualShock and just, always use that because people like that.
You know, for a console, that's a bulky design.
Yeah.
In terms of it being from Microsoft and it was probably supposed to be more on par with PCs at the time, that's fitting.
You know what Scorpio's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That'll be outdated in like 2 months.
Year tops. Because that's what apparently both Microsoft and Sony forgot is, technology's kind of obsolete after a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Meaning that all those PS4s and Xbox Ones that everyone got at launch, yep, they're outdated.
Well, speaking of small little transition articles, have you ever wanted to participate in one of those escape room game things?
I saw this. I thought, okay, that looks neat, but at the same time, not really.
Well, Nintendo is partnering up with who the fuck was this?
Scrap.
To produce a Legend of Zelda themed escape room called Defenders of the Triforce. No dates are available yet, but a few cities have pre-registration open. Ticket prices are going for $36 until December 31st, where they go up to $46. An hour and a half event.
Uh-huh.
That is all right.
For you and 5 other people.
You and 5 other people, you have no idea who the fuck are.
Unless you're really smart and you actually have 6 people that you're planning on at the same time being in that location.
That sounds like a far better idea. So we got San Francisco, Los Angeles, Phoenix, San Diego, Seattle, Houston, Chicago, and New York, aka nowhere near us. So count us all out. So yeah. Legend of Zelda Escape Room. How the fuck are these becoming so popular?
I don't know.
Like, these are all over the place.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think this idea would be cool, but I have a funny feeling that something like that would be cool for like 5 minutes, and then you'd be like, now I'm over it.
I mean, it depends on how, like, involved you can be in trying to solve the puzzle. Or, like, how intricate the puzzle can get. Like, if it's not head-bangingly old school adventure game like,
well,
it might be fun.
What do you think? It not only does it have to be something that can be repeatedly set up, but it also has to be something that you have to have minimal interaction with, because let's be honest, people will break stuff. And for anyone that doubts that, go look at any kind of bugs found in games. People break stuff.
Just watch the Proton John stream that we were hosting last night instead of doing this. Watch how they snapped Resident Evil 6 in half at times.
I mean, that's just how it goes. If it can be broke, it will be.
Yeah.
So that's making me wonder, okay, how much interaction, how involved is it going to make you feel? Because it's going to also have to be readily or easily set up for the next group. So it's like, I think it'll lose its steam quick, kind of deal.
Yeah. I know Gerard's already excited, and I'm like, okay, this will be a nice little first-hand report. All right. So, how about we talk about some of that Mass Effect Andromeda news that got dropped by Game Informer? Now, this is the best compilation of information I have at the moment, or that I could find at the moment.
I think you missed one.
Did I?
Yep.
Damn it. Oops.
You see what you missed now.
Backing up one.
Because someone didn't pay attention.
Fuck my dyslexia. Well, Telltale's apparently releasing a Marvel game at some point. And we might have found out what. But there's a weird thing about it that makes me go, huh? Well, apparently, they will be doing Guardians of the Galaxy next. Except, I believe, does this article mention it? Does it mention the code name that was put under? It does not. That's odd. Because I saw the article that alerted me to this mentioned the code name it was under in the information. But anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy, being developed by Telltale Games, is coming soon. Thanks to the voice actor strike, alerting us to this being in development, and they're not striking against this game. Thank you, voice actor strike, for giving us information. Hope you guys do well. But yeah, what was interesting is that this game is apparently under the codename Blue Harvest, internally at Telltale. Anyone want to take a guess on how that is a bit of a weird reference?
Ow.
All right. Do you know that it's a common practice for movies to film under false names in order to throw off people trying to get near the sets and take pictures and look at report on stuff that's being filmed and take pictures and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you guess what movie filmed under the name Blue Harvest that might have a connection to Guardians?
Not right offhand, though.
Well, it was actually Return of the Jedi.
Huh.
That's what makes it odd to me, because it's like, okay, they're codenaming it Blue Harvest, but it's Guardians of the Galaxy. But Disney owns Star Wars and Marvel. Telltale, this is a really weird reference that you have internally for this game. Like, it makes me go, is this actually a Star Wars game and we're all being misled? I guess not, considering how this information got released to begin with, but still.
Unless, do you think maybe it was kind of up in the air of whether this was going to be something for Marvel or Star Wars?
Well,
like when
Telltale...
it was first presented to them, kind of deal?
Well, Telltale did the deal with Marvel, not with Disney, so it can't be Star Wars. Because Marvel doesn't have rights to that. Disney is the one that has rights to that. So, I think it's just a weird coincidence, to be honest. But I'll be curious to see. I mean, Telltale games aren't that interesting to me. Like, the most interesting one right now is the Batman Telltale series that's ongoing right now. But I wouldn't pick up a Telltale game until it's complete anyway. Fuck waiting 2 months to play another hour or so of a game.
Oh, but you do that 5 times and then you've played the entire game.
What if I just want to play the entire game at once?
Oh, you mean you don't want to drag out a game for an entire year?
No. Not unless I just don't get around to playing it. Not because it takes them that long to release the entire game. Alright. Now to talk about the Mass Effect Andromeda information.
Yeah, now the stuff that you tried to skip over.
Yeah.
To get to.
Alright. Game Informer's December cover story is going to be Mass Effect Andromeda. I assume there's going to be a bunch of information in the magazine. They're already releasing a bunch of information. They had a big interview with one of the heads. They had a showcase of one of the new alien species that I don't think they have a name for. It's a very rock-esque species. A little bit of story stuff here and there. A new trailer, which is very not that lot gameplay-wise, so that's why it's not here at the moment. But I believe this is a recap from their podcast GI show and all the information that comes out of there. So, first and foremost, Paragon Renegade system is gone, and I'm a little sad. Aww. It's not like the Paragon Renegade system was really black and white, really. It was just how you went about doing your business, whether it was, talk people out of it or punch them in the dick. Like, that was Paragon Renegade. Like, if you wanted to talk it out and, be diplomatic about stuff, that was the Paragon route. If you just wanted to punch a motherfucker or shoot him in the knee to get him to talk, that was the Renegade option. It's not good or bad, it's just how you got the job done. It's just one of them is more dickish. Which is honestly how a morality system should be. You're not evil, you're just an asshole. There's a stark difference between those two. Anyway, apparently classes are all different. Montreal, Edmonton, and Austin offices are all working on Andromeda, meaning not Mass Effect. BioWare will probably not be doing anything until this game comes out, or anything else until this game's out.
Which might be the best thing.
Yeah. Jen Larson is the head of the Andromeda Initiative. She's an entrepreneur to set up the project. Dr. Lexi, SP, is an Asari that is on the crew in the beginning. Game starts with waking up on the human arc. There are apparently separate arcs for each of the species that get sent to Andromeda. Then investigating a planet and things go wrong. Liam is a male human companion who begins with you as well. Lots of Mass Effect 1 references. There's new Mako-like tank called the Nomad, very Mass Effect 1 inspired. Skill system more like Mass Effect 1 than 2 and 3. We are in depth. We want the depth of Mass Effect with 1, with the combat system of 3. Archetypes such as Soldier, Adept are gone. Those abilities are instead available to you in game, and you can mix and match in order to create unique classes rather than being constrained to a sole set of abilities. Fictional reasons for this is that each arc has a Pathfinder, which is a person unique to each arc with a special ability to configure their own abilities in some ways. The original Pathfinder is Ryer, the player's character's father. Something happens to him, which is unknown. He probably ends up dead because, fuck it, dead parentitis strikes again. And the role passes to the player character Ryder. Ryder has a twin of the opposite gender, I believe. The default names are Sarah and Scott. Customization of the appearance of your character affects your twin and father's appearance in game, aka the Fallout 4 methodology. Because you got to customize both the male and female person you could play as in Fallout 4, even if you didn't choose the other person, and those choices would affect the baby and later the grown-up baby. Because spoilers, you get to meet your baby all grown up because time travel, or not time travel, time differences. You were asleep for a long time. Twin storyline is important to the story. The twins doesn't just die in the first 5 minutes. No, your father dies in the first 5 minutes. That's how we get over that the game is being serious. Look, if they actually kill the father in the first 5 minutes, I'm just gonna be like, call it. Just saying it. Differences between Ryder's genders is significantly larger than Shepard's gender differences in the Mass Effect trilogy, so more than just your romantic options then, I guess. Because that's the only ever major difference of genders in the entirety of the Mass Effect trilogy as far as I can remember. Other than pronouns used by characters, there is no difference. Which probably saved on the budget. Because that was less lines they had to record. First impression, according to Game Informer, is that Andromeda is very similar in general to Dragon Age Inquisition. Pseudo-open worlds with more things to do and places to explore than in prior Mass Effect games. Mining with nomads, squad loyalty missions that don't affect the ending. Side quests on other planets, etc. BioWare team consulted the Need for Speed team for controls for the Nomad. GI says that it handles well compared to the Mako. Anything can handle better than the Mako, let's be honest. The Mako was garbage. The Mako was a piece of shit, let's be honest. Nomad is not drivable on every planet. Some are only small portions on foot. Team has a lot of banter while you're driving in the Nomad. So all of the elevator conversations from 1. Because there's a lot of banter to cover up them loading screens in the elevator. Sand planet called Eldin is so hot that if you aren't in the shadows, you take damage, similar to the Tali recruit level in Mass Effect 2. Lots of planets have quirks like this, acid pools, dangerous wildlife, etc. Sometimes there are aliens fighting wildlife. Game Informer doesn't make it clear whether those are scripted events or emergent AI. You can look out a window on the ship and see the planet you're orbiting. It's not as sterile as previous games, more immersive with little touches like that. Let's see, your ship is called the Tempest. It's smaller, more intimate environment. There are no loading screens or elevators on the ship. You can drop to the planet's surface from orbit, where you can access the garage and drive the Nomad out onto the planet. Game Informer says that there are very few loading screens. Team wishes to streamline the process, make it seamless to give you a greater sense of immersion. New alien race called the Ket. I believe that is what they showed off. More info coming this month. Apparently, Game Informer has some kind of exclusive deal to roll out Andromeda info within the next month. So, yeah. Lots of information. Also, I believe we have a timestamp for when the Mass Effect Andromeda at least starts. I believe the Andromeda project, people are speculating, is launched 1 year after Mass Effect 2. Which puts it in 2186, I believe, before the events of Mass Effect 3. Because we're avoiding Mass Effect 3 like the fucking plague with Andromeda. So yeah. Once more, BioWare is avoiding the issue of having to address the Mass Effect 3 ending at some point in the games. So, whatever. I put you to sleep with all that. Tommy. Uh-oh. I think I actually... Uh-oh, I thought to put you to sleep with all that. I heard you snore for a second.
Oh.
Anyway. Any thoughts on this massive dump of info?
No.
Oh. You're not that interested in Andromeda, are you?
No.
To be fair, neither am I. Some of this sounds cool. I'll admit, loyalty missions and that stuff sounds nice, but the fact that we haven't really gotten any good gameplay look at this to see all of this stuff they're saying going on, and the fact that, you know, they seem to seriously not want to talk about Mass Effect 3 in addressing the world they created after Mass Effect 3 means just drives me up the wall slightly. And also makes me very hesitant about how their writing is going to be. But anyway, guess we'll move on to one last Nintendo NS talk, because we got to mention the NS at least once per show now. That's a mandate. All right. Emily Rogers apparently dropped what the first year of Nintendo Switch games is going to be looking like. So bear in mind, within the first 12 months, according to Emily Rogers, we're going to be getting 3D Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Mario Kart, Splatoon, new IP, Retro Studios game, Pikmin 4, all in the first 12 months. I see a problem here. It's that number in front of the months part. If this is the first year of the NS, I still have to wonder what the fuck we're getting at launch. You know? Dobby.
What?
You good?
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, first 12 months of the NS. What do you think?
I don't know. I know we're in for some good ones, but
I just have a problem with this. Like, oh yeah, this is the first 12 months, and I'm like,
yeah,
that doesn't seem like a lot for 12 months. Granted, this is all, I assume, first party stuff, but yeah. Like, if this was the first 6 months, like, if this was going into what I assume would be Christmas, if the timing's right, like, that would be fine. 12 months makes me worried. Especially with the fact that at least 2 of these, I assume, are ports.
Well, now, they've done said that the Mario Kart, Splatoon, and I see one that's missing. The Smash port have all kind of been in the works. So I would think that I'm wanting to say even one of them said they were figuring within the first 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Just that 12-month statement makes me worried. Because I'm just like, what are we getting at launch? With this new rumor that, like, Breath of the Wild is not going to be at launch. It's not a launch title. The fuck are we going to launch the NS with? Like, literally, what are you going to watch the NS with? If that's not going to be it, in Breath of the Wild, it's going to be coming out on Wii U in March. Assumingly. If that's not delayed at this point.
No. That definitely, from what I understand, the reason why Breath of the Wild isn't going to be launched, translation issues.
That is a very stupid reason.
So, that being said, that also delays the Wii U version in process.
That is still a dumb reason to delay a game in this day and age. I'll get to it later why that's a dumb reason, but still.
But I do remember seeing the article where they were like, yeah, it would kind of be stupid for them to split the release.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be shooting themselves in the foot. So, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's talk about releases then for the next couple weeks. All right. We got some fun ones here. Kicking off on the 21st on PC, we got Cyber Chicken, Disaster Blaster, Disoriented, Dragon Knight for early access, Hello Charlotte, Intershelter, not Interstellar, Intershelter for early access, Madness, and Street Pose Showdown. On the 22nd, we got Darksiders War Mastered Edition for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Wii U. Hey, a Wii U title! A good third-party Wii U release. That's the fucking rarity, I tell you what. We got the Little Arc for Xbox One, Amnesia Collection for PlayStation 4, Exiles in for Wii U, and Dragon Ball Fusions for 3DS. And all on PC, we got Magical High School Girl, Beatboxer, Hot Squat, Japanese School Life, Love Guitars in the Nashville Skyline, The Super Flourish, Tito Online, Zemo Robot Simulation, and Zone 4. On the 23rd, we have Aria, Basement Dwellers, Chili, Peak Angel, Drift Online, Space Trucker, and Zenza. On the 24th, we've got Citadel, Gate of Souls for Wii U, and October, Super Sub Squid Escape. I can't read. I literally can't read right now for the Wii U. And on PC, we got Last Survivor Early Access, Ninja Smasher, Reptilians Must Die, and Super Red Hot Hero. On the 25th, we got Stealth Inc., A Clone in the Dark, Ultimate Edition for PlayStation 4 and Vita. And on PC, we have Afterlife, Story of a Feather, Clazer Early Access, Fatal Gem VR, Neon Arena Early Access, and Rock God Tycoon. On the 28th, we got Steam Pinball Arcade for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Bullet Sorrow VR, Queen Undying Thoughts, VCB Y City. On the 29th, the major release of Final Fantasy 15 for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, The Crew Ultimate Edition for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, Aquamoto for Racing Utopia for PlayStation 4, Star Trek Bridge Crew for PlayStation 4, and Steins Gate Zero for PlayStation 4 and Vita. And on PC, you get the late release of Watch Dogs 2, which could be better if it was more stealth focused. I think is a big thing that a lot of people are taking away from that, kind of. On the 30th, all on PC, we got 8-Bit Arena VR, Bounce Crazy Saloon VR, Mana Storm Champions of Nar Early Access, Second Coming, Super Ninja Hero VR, Townsmen, and Twin Bros. On December 1st, we've got The Dwarves for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, We Sing 2, 2-Mic Bundle for Xbox One and PlayStation 4, Deponia for PlayStation 4, Shoot the Ball Wii U, and Hyperlight EX for 3DS. And all on PC, we got Akuto Mad World, Astro Void 2000, Reloaded, King Lucas, Maze, Mechatronics Attacks, Phase Shift, Ready. I'm going to go with Ready, and Stargazer Christmas. And on December 2nd, we have Steep for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, Animal Crossing New Leaf, Welcome Amiibo for 3DS, and Super Mario Maker for Nintendo 3DS on 3DS. And all on PC, we got My Minion Masters or Red Haze, Space Jumpers, and Sparkle Unleashed. Gonna shoot all the sparkles off with that one. So, like, one real good release and then a whole bunch of other shit is the best way to sum up the next 2 weeks. There is not a whole lot to be excited for.
At all.
No. Alright. Let's talk quick draws. And god damn it, Atlus. Persona 5 has been pushed back from its February release date to now April because of localization issues, aka the game will not be localized in time for release in February. We're pushing it back to April, but
so similar to Breath of the Wild.
But because of this pushback, Atlus will be offering a free Japanese voiceover DLC at launch. Also, Persona 5 will still be released in Japan before the end of the year. I don't think I'm kidding, by the way. Persona 5 is coming out in Japan before the end of the year. Actually, no. Scratch that. It already is out in Japan. It's been out since September. September. Sep-fucking-tember. And it's been delayed from February to April.
Mm-hmm.
Atlus. What in the fuck? Like, I'm slightly pissed by this because I'm like, okay, this day and age, localization should not be a problem. Localization should be a thing that happens alongside the development of the game. It should. But the fact that Persona 5 is being delayed further because reasons is ridiculous. It is. So I'm only less disappointed in the fact that it's actually not coming out on my birthday.
Yeah.
Because it'd have been like, okay, it would have been funny at least if it came out on the 28th. So, yeah. I'm a little pissy at Atlus, but this is what it is, I guess. So, Tommy, your quick draw.
Yeah. Something that we were talking about before the show is probably too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, Sun and Moon?
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly a version is going to be on the Switch. Yeah. Okay. To be fair, this would line up with what was said before about they would be willing to look at the then called NX as a potential way of going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Never once did they say they would. Granted, never once did they say they wouldn't. So we kind of have nothing to go off of there. I think the thing that sticks out the most for me, we've got Sun and Moon.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying this one is going to be Pokemon Stars. I feel like that one's just grasping.
Yeah.
I really do. Because it don't match any of the past generation's third games. In all seriousness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of does, but not enough to make a direct correlation to it.
Besides, technically we already have Pokemon Stars. It's called Pokemon Sun because Sun is a star. Just gonna throw that out there, by the way. That's what a star is. It's a fucking sun. Plus, stars are featured in both of the character in both. I wouldn't say really featured, but it's there in the game already. Like, there's no reason. Like, I'm not that far in the game, mind you, but that just doesn't seem right. And like, there is no data in Pokemon Sun or Moon to suggest there is a third version or any attempt to expand it into a third version.
Well, that compounded to the fact of, okay, let's go this step further. Isn't one of the biggest differences between Sun and Moon the fact that Moon is technically an entire 12-hour period different than Sun?
That's one of the only differences.
So, what would be the gimmick with Stars? It's going to be 6-hour difference? I mean, you got to kind of look at the other factors of the two games and then figure that out too.
Yeah.
Or I know Pokemon Stars can be only night.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
In terms of new Pokemon, it follows the trend, the recent trend. There's, okay, counting only final forms and like Pokemon that don't evolve, there's 51 new Pokemon. You have to add like 20 to that number, like 20 or less to that number, but that gives you a ballpark. Like, that's like higher than Kalos already at 36 plus how many ever evolution lines or how many other pre-evolutions there were. I'm just using my Excel document as a reference. I don't have a complete number to throw at you, but like, it can only go up from these numbers proportionately speaking. But yeah, like, what new Pokemon are they going to throw in? Because they'd have to throw in new Pokemon. It would at least have a new box art legendary.
Right.
But like, what else are they going to throw in? Like, I don't see anything else they could throw in besides just flat new Pokemon. And why not throw that into Sun and Moon? Because this Pokemon Stars is not going to come out until December of next year. At least.
Maybe. Like, there's one way around it that I think would work. And it would be a feasible thing. But see, we still don't know backwards compatibility for the NX. Like, right now, we need to know that first. But perhaps this isn't a new version, but essentially a combination of any variation that Sun and Moon both have together. And like, this is going to be Pokemon Sun and Moon for the Switch kind of deal.
Yeah.
Where it's both games, you can choose to play one or the other individually or the combination of the two. Like, I would buy that farther than I would a third game for this generation.
Yeah. Like, the ability to play the game on the Switch gamepad, that makes sense to me. I mean, we've already seen that the Switch can take cartridges and can take like 3DS-esque cartridges. Granted, I think they've said that they can't play 3DS games, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's an adapter for that.
Okay. To be fair, it also is exactly worded that it cannot play physical Wii U and 3DS games.
Yeah.
Never once does it say anything about digitals. On top of that, I could completely see Nintendo wanting to deny it until they want to release more information and then be like, oh yeah, this is also going to be able to play 3DS games. Because it wouldn't be a first for Nintendo to deny something that someone figured out.
Mm.
Case in point, the ending of the production of the Wii U's. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, those are officially stopping production next month.
I love the fact that we get an article saying that they'll be stopping production. Nintendo comes out, oh no, that's not happening, that's not happening. And then like within a week later we get confirmation, yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
It's one of those that I don't believe Nintendo will completely drop backwards compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, just because we never saw it in that Switch teaser, I wonder if it is backwards compatible with both the Wii U and 3DS to some extent.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Xbox and Microsoft's been making a big deal about their backwards compatibility with Xbox 360 titles, and that's been pretty good for them.
Well, you think too, it would benefit Nintendo in terms of Wii U sales because the games that should have sold better would get that second chance.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if that home base that the Switch snaps into doesn't have some kind of disk drive on it. It really wouldn't. The only thing would be, the use of the gamepad for some Wii U games. That kind of wouldn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But that kind of rolls back to we know nothing about the Switch.
Yeah.
So thousands of possibilities, maybe one of them's right.
We're not going to know anything until January.
Who are we kidding? We're probably not going to know nothing until launch.
Oh, God. For every good thing Nintendo does, they take 5 steps backwards.
Like that seems to be the thing with the Switch. It's like, oh, look at this. It looks cool, huh? Nope, can't have it. You can't know what we're doing.
Again, if you are thinking about pre-ordering an NS, just don't. Just do not pre-order until we have more definitive information, especially about the launch. Like, don't.
And apparently about launch titles.
Yeah.
Because, like, as it's standing, we have nothing.
Yeah. We have nothing except a trailer that may or may not be reflective of the NS at launch. Like, that is the major thing here. It's like, we know nothing. Nothing. Nothing worthwhile. We have a concept and that's it.
To be fair, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if come January they give more details about the Switch and they're like, okay, we're pushing the Switch launch back a couple months simply because they probably still won't have any games ready.
Yeah, that.
Because I'm sorry, yeah, that Super Mario game looked like it was pretty close to completion. The Splatoon content looked like it was from the new build of it.
Mm-hmm. Same with Mario Kart.
But I'm wanting to say they've figured out that the Breath of the Wild footage may or may not have. It at least is a different build than the last we saw of it. But that don't mean anything since it's coming out on 2 consoles.
Yeah. For all we know, that's just the Wii U build.
Right. And then
we
know the Skyrim one is cut and paste.
The Skyrim one is bullshit because they're like, oh yeah, we're not coming out with this on fucking NS.
I still think they're just butthurt that Nintendo did that. Like, I feel like that's gonna be one of them. They just didn't want it to come out like that.
It's still dumb as shit. It's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna show off Skyrim on the NS, but we're not gonna announce it for the NS. It's just like, oh yeah, you could run it, and it's like, oh, fuck off.
Like, the only other thing I can think of is maybe when they were testing the Switch at the beginning, maybe it was one of those, well, we could recode this a little bit and make it run on it. Let's see what that looks like. Because otherwise it'd be like, why?
Yeah, it's just stupid how hard fucking Bethesda backpedaled. And when after that trailer came out, that it was the dumbest thing I've ever fucking seen. It's like, oh yeah, you make this deal to have Skyrim being shown, I'll play it on the NS. And then you backpedal on it? You backpedal off that deal? Like, why? Like, if you were gonna backpedal like this, why the fuck did you allow your game to be shown on the NS to begin with? Like, did no one else want to take that deal? Ride that wave of excitement? Or did you just want free advertisement for the Skyrim remaster? Because since it was going to come out like a week later. Yeah. That is pretty much it for the week. We got a fun couple of months up, aren't we?
Yep.
I pray that NS announcement stuff in January is going to be worthwhile. Because if not, I worry about this little black box. Wait, no, not this little black box. This little black holster for a tablet. I worry for this.
It's 2 black boxes.
Yeah. 2 black boxes and 2 rectangles.
Hey, you know what's bad? That means you technically were wrong about the Switch. It wasn't a black box. It was 2 black boxes that hooked together.
Fuck off, Nintendo, for making you wrong. My one not super out there prediction of the NX turns out to be wrong on a technicality. Stupid technicalities. At least I try to make a prediction within reason and not just go, oh, it's this thing with VR and this thing with motion controls. This fucker I don't think it's even got motion controls. I don't think anything in that concept trailer showed anything that looked like motion controls.
Nothing showed it, but if it is like most tablets, it would at least be able to support motion controls.
Yeah.
So the possibilities there.
I'll just be hopeful when Nintendo's realized it's like, yeah, motion controls have really fallen out of favor. Maybe we shouldn't try to force the motion controls down everyone's throats.
Oh, that'll be the case until they decide to do another Star Fox game. That's my only complaint with Zero. That really is. All the R-Wing transformations, the Landmaster, all that fun stuff. Yeah. Don't give me motion controls. Let me choose to turn them off completely. Come on.
I actually forgot I did actually play the demo.
What
I
all
felt
does the
all
demo cover?
the training modes for each of the vehicles.
Really?
Yep.
They don't even give you Corneria?
I don't think so.
Wow.
It gives you the anime short. You know that thing no one asked for?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you that. But yeah, I only played the R-Wing training one and messed around with it. It's like, this doesn't feel horrendously bad. I could get used to this. So.
Did the R-Wing one have you go into the Walker transformations too?
If it does, I didn't get that far.
Because I know technically you can go into the Walker mode in the R-Wing training. But I can't remember if they told you to do that or not. I think I was screwing with it when I did that.
This training mode is you going through rings and stuff and flying around the Great Fox.
Oh, it ain't okay.
Yeah,
it ain't the actual training one. That's actually the intro to the game.
Okay, so it has the intro, but I think it's the training modes for the other vehicles as well. Essentially, it's all the tutorial shit from the game, as far as I know. Which is a fantastic first impression of the game. All tutorials!
Yep.
Don't even give you Corneria, even though I've seen that level so many fucking times at this point.
Like, I could understand them not wanting to put one of the lighter levels into it. But come on.
I'll find out at Christmas how good it actually is, since I'll probably be getting the full game for Christmas. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this week.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, we'll talk about the Game Awards. And to be honest, I think that's all I can think of that's between now and then. And that's only one day before the show. Because I don't think anyone else is going to announce anything. I mean, we'll probably hear about something with Final Fantasy 15. I pray it has a good launch. I don't want to hear about a garbage launch for Final Fantasy 15 because then I'd be scared. Because I asked for that for Christmas too. Because I was like, fuck it. Let's make this the first full Final Fantasy game I try to complete and not play on a fucking joke. Like I did 13-2. Or buy and play like an hour of and have not touched since then because I didn't care that much about it, which is 7, which is probably pissed somebody off in listening.
Oh boy.
Guarantee it.
I think you just ticked as many people off as I do when I'm like, oh, 8 wasn't a bad one. Now that everyone's got their pitchforks and torches out, I think we can go ahead and end it.
Yes, so in 2 weeks, check us out for more news, discussion, goodness, and tell them folks.
We got new cards, so be sure to check those out too. But yeah, now I'm just kind of padding the rest of that, like 20 seconds that we gotta pad, so yeah. Bye.